Dave, the CEO, and his partner, David Ponte, who's the CMO, and who I work with on more of like a day-to-day basis, they were both and still are like extremely supportive of the TGUT project and me as a DJ and me as a producer. So from the beginning, I was very transparent. Like, yo, I'm happy to work with you guys. I'll work for you full time, but like, you have to know that like I'm a touring DJ. I'm an artist. This is why I moved up to New York. This is my passion. So like, it's never going to take a back burner or a back seat. And they were like, okay, cool. Like, we'll figure it out. And then that's what we did. And like, as things began to grow, I was kind of able to carve out my space within Audiomack and really drill in on the things that like I really wanted to do. Things like Trap Symphony and just like producing dope video content and building out 3 different studios, recording studios, which was awesome. And then as new people came in, I was able to hire a lot of friends and get a lot of my homies paid. And most importantly, just like really build Audiomack up into this like really cool brand that, you know, I'm still really proud of to this day.
The CMO and the CEO, it sounds like they are just freaking awesome. and right time, right place, but also right hustle from you.
Yeah.
But what do you think about them would almost be good advice to other leaders, other CEOs and stuff? Because there's clearly something in them that that they had faith in you, and then you are getting your shit done. So what do you think the qualities in them are that would be probably beneficial to a lot of other people to see in other leaders? Does that question make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Man, I mean, like you said, they're definitely just cool homies, and those are like my older brothers at this point. Even so, like the butting heads with them over the years, you know, it's like those are like just the big homies for real. But I think like I don't know if this is what they were banking on, but I think there's definitely a lot to empowerment. And I've learned this because I now have a team, and I have a creative team that runs a studio, and I have an art director, and you know, help with the content, and even in my management or whatever. And then through the Daves, Mackley and Ponte, I think empowerment would definitely be like the key word. And like I said, whether it was their intention or not, I think just enabling me to be like, yo, all right, if you could do all this shit, go for it. You know what I mean? Like, we need you to do this, but if you can do this on top of it, not only go for it, but like, that's awesome. And like, you know, we'll pull up to your DJ gigs, or like, we'll help you with these artists. And I think there's just something to that. I think there's something to empowering someone and saying, like, not taking the, like, you better get this done, and more being like, yeah, man, like, get that shit done and kill it. And go crazy. And I think for me personally, I was always, you know, pushed by the fact, one, I needed the money. So I was like, I can't lose this job. But I was also pushed by the fact, like, all right, like, you know, I have this opportunity where I can have my cake and eat it too. Like, I'm going to go crazy. You know what I mean? And they believe in me. And, you know, what they think what I'm doing for them is a great job. Like, you know, Mackley always told me that I brought like the cool factor to Audiomack, and that was always really cool to me too. So I think I kind of like stepped into that role. And you know, in my experience too, without dropping any names, like people that I've managed, you know, I've taken and been like, yo, you're amazing, and like you can kill this shit. And just really like positive reinforcement is just like such a crucial factor versus like the traditional like boss. Like I hate even that word, you know what I mean? It's like it's that empowerment of saying like, yo, you can do this because you're extremely good at it. Like, go crazy. This is what I need done. Whatever else you want to do. And I think that really motivates people. And I think there's like something subconsciously that's like, yo, this person, like, I don't want to let them down just on like a pride level. You know what I mean? I don't want to like, it's like they believe in me. So like, I don't want to fuck that up versus like me, especially like just the way I've been my whole life. If it were a situation where it was like, yo, you better get this done or else, this is gonna happen, like that's gonna turn me off and be like, bro, I'm either gonna get the fuck out of here or I'm gonna do the bare minimum and, you know, figure out somewhere else to make my money. So I think that's really key too, is just like keeping it positive and you know, it's like we're all humans. Like I've met the richest people or the biggest artists, and they have the ego of a snail, and they, you know what I mean? They're just like so regular. And I think a lot of like corporate America and just like company structures, period, it's just like people feel like when they manage someone or they work over someone, they're like, that's you're their master, or like you're their like, you know, it's like you have the right to disparage someone or like literally act like you're better than them because of your situation has led you to here. And this year especially has taught us and, you know, reminded a lot of folks that like we aren't all born with the same opportunities and with the same chances to get places. And it's like just because you ended up here and this person is here, like they could have worked 100 times as hard and be a million times smarter. So I'm kind of on a tangent, but I think it's all related.
No, this is like inside. I'm like, oh, it just makes sense. And you're so right. So I'll leave it at that because you're just 100% right. And that's freaking dope that you have your own team now and that the leaders who led you or gave you an opportunity or you created an opportunity together showed you how they exemplified how to be as a boss or as a leader. And now you're implementing that with your team. It sounds like, as far as empowerment and such, like that just shows the power of being a good leader. And
yeah,
that's freaking awesome.
For sure. I think on the opposite end, like a lot of the times if you work with a company who I'm sure you have, I have countless times, and like it kind of seems like everyone just has this attitude, like every person you deal with at this label or at this company just has this attitude, or if it's not an attitude, like they're kind of all not on their shit, like a little disorganized. And like anytime I've dealt with like a company or a brand and like I meet more than one person who kind of has the same stigma about them, every time I'm like, that shit's got to be coming from the top down. You know, it's like, I think it, to your point, it does make a really big difference. And like, you will see like, even if it's just like some negativity and, you know, making, you know, offhand jokes or whatever, it's like, now that I've seen Audiomack grow from like, you know, ground zero to 70, 80 employees, it's like you see things that started when it was just 3 employees or 1 employee, and you see how that trickles down, and now all 70 people or 80 people are affected by these. It's like the company culture shit. It's like very real. So yeah, to your point, it definitely all matters greatly for sure.
Yeah. And that's something that like company culture and such, I feel like as, you know, an intern in college, you kind of like apply to jobs and you see that tossed around a lot. But then in personal experience, you realize like there's value in company culture and everything we're talking about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.